the universe, you guys. What up? I am uploading more videos, so make sure y'all scroll down and check them out. Be sure to watch the shorts, the pre-recorded videos, as well as the live video, guys. I really appreciate the love and support. Thank you guys for helping me grow the channel. If you came across this reading, you're not here for nothing. Now, as y'all can see from the title, what this reading is about, it's the ugly truth that most people or most readers, teachers, and things like that don't talk about, okay? And what made and inspired me to do this, podcast, this video, is I shared a video in my community section, pretty much with multiple videos speaking truth, okay? Because that's what we do over here. I post stuff like that in the community section if it can help somebody. So always check out the community section. It's for the community, okay? AKA my soul tribe. So you never know, you might learn something. So with that being said, this one girl at the end of that video said something that stood out to me. She said, even killing the ego, even with killing the ego, you still have an ego, which is truth, okay? I just want to talk about how it's a number of ways and different ways people go through awakenings, okay? The number one thing I've noticed for many people, I don't know if anybody who would want themselves to like sit there and make themselves go through opening their third eye and going through an awakening, because where the fuck they do that at? Like, but I guess some people do that. That ain't how it happened for me though. That's not how it happened for me. Um, it just kind of naturally happened. But I noticed the number one thing that send people through awakenings is, not only life, but depression, okay? Or something very traumatic, okay? Like love, um, whether it's platonic or romantic, okay? And love is a powerful thing, so I'm not surprised. But anyway, people don't talk about the stuff you gotta go through, okay? The ugly, dark stuff like facing your shadow. And when you face your shadow, you know how people say they fighting demons, and then you hear some people saying, you ain't fighting demons, you fighting accountability. That's true. You know what I mean? Because what you gotta face got everything to do with you and nothing to do with nobody else, okay? Um, you might be, how people can project stuff onto you. Well, sometimes you can do that too. So this is all a part about healing. Let me tell y'all what I just did yesterday. And sometimes you gotta heal repeatedly, constantly. Just like you gotta do certain things. They tell you to do certain things like all these rituals. I don't do all that because I used to have crystals and all of that. But I threw all that stuff away one day, and I said, if praying been getting me to 40 years old, then that's all I need. So with that being said, I don't own those things anymore. But at first, you going through an awakening, you want to do everything right. So you taught to go get crystals and different things like that, and use candles and different things like that. Technically speaking, I was using candles way before I knew anything about going through a spiritual awakening. First of all, let's start there. And incense, my ancestors used them. My generations before me used them, so that I was already doing. And some in that way, sometimes we can unconsciously do things, and rituals included, spell work included. So it's good, it's best to be aware, okay? But I don't know anybody that want to send themselves through this, because I didn't choose this. This chose me. And some for most people, you naturally go through these things at a certain age, at a certain time, with certain placements or numbers in your birth chart. Okay, it's bound and destined to happen for some of us. We don't have to sit there and make ourselves count to 10, hold your breath, and do all this, exercise this way and every day for 30 days straight to go through, what they call it, Kundalini rising and all that stuff. No, some of us just naturally go through these things, okay? Um, see, it might seem like things don't have order, but everything is in perfect order, okay? Including us, just like with nature, okay? Like, don't nobody got to tell the trees, okay, it's summertime, okay, it's wintertime, it's time for y'all leaves to fall off now. Like, they automatically do that naturally. And in that way, a lot of people don't even know. Like, hey, what's meant for you is really meant for you. That means, if it's meant for you to awaken, you're going to awaken. And some of us are here to awaken others because they just can't awaken. Like, literally, that's our job. But with that being said, certain things naturally happen, like, a natural menstruation every month. Like, it's natural order, even if it seems like it's out of order. Even if, they say, for example, abnormal menstruation periods and times, like, ain't none of that a coincidence. Everything that's regulated by the moons and different things like that. But you got to learn that, okay? Not only that, I just feel like naturally everything will happen, like, period. Even you finding out your purpose, knowing your purpose. Like, one thing I noticed by personal life experience is certain things that I wanted answers to, right? And I noticed they was right there in front of my face or tatted on my body, like, literally. And if you don't stop to look at the signs and receive the signs, then you'll just, you'll just be thinking, oh, I just did that. No, these things naturally happen. Like, if God know you're gonna be a person that's always asking these questions, is looking for a certain answer, guess what he gonna do? He gonna have you go get tattoos and tat them on your body. So then one day you look down at your body and the whole time the answer was there, like, type shit. Like, literally, that's how it be. Things naturally and unconsciously happen with us not knowing, and then you realize and recognize later on, looking back, if you ever reflected back on your past, damn, that's what this was the whole time, or that's what God was preparing me for the whole time, or that's why I did such and such and A, B, and C, because one day, God knew I was gonna be at S, T, and U. You feel me? Like, type shit. So that's the way things happen, and even though God works in mysterious ways, it all makes sense one day. You know what I mean? I realize now, looking back on my past, certain things I did, like, that did scare me, that I did not understand then, like, uh, different things, like seeing the man in the hat. Uh, like, I was wide awoke getting off an elevator and seeing the man with the hat. You know what I mean? Wide awoke and with my siblings, and we all seen it, so it wasn't just me, like, literally. Crazy shit like that. Experiences, like, if God wants you to see something, he gonna reveal it to you, like, period. No matter who you around, who you with, like, whether you by yourself or not, or with others. Like, it's just like that with information. When God wants you to get a message, sometimes he'll use other people to give it to you. Like, yeah, angels walk the earth, people that's gifted, psychic, all that walk the earth, they exist. You know what I mean? But you ain't gonna be able to see it written on their forehead. You know what I mean? So you never know who you're gonna come across a path with. People don't even know who be in their own family sometimes. Like, for example, Whitney Houston. Uh, Her family didn't know she was gonna grow up one day to be this big ass star. Sometimes it be like that. Like, maybe that wasn't a good example because a lot of people in her family famous. Christian Rock, like, you feel me? Everybody did not know, and they did that girl so wrong. And look at her; she became the one who brought her whole family into the limelight. For an example, like, people don't be knowing who in their presence sometimes. So that's true, and that was also mentioned in that video. Like, you just never know, but they don't tell you the deep, dark, ugly stuff that you have to go through, like healing. You know what I mean? And how ugly it got to be, how you got to face you, and how you got to face all the nasty, mean, dark, secretive things that you've done to others. And not only that, you know, where you come from. You know what I mean? It's all to be faced and dealt with so you can go where you go. Okay? But they don't talk about that. And of course, everything everything I do is deep. Everything I talk about is deep. So I gotta talk about this too. So y'all, I gotta make a run. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna be back with more on this video. So this part one, I'm gonna upload a part two. Peace and love.